Hello, Internet. I'm Ren, known lover of musical episodes, and today we're going to talk about Star Trek Strange New Worlds musical episode, Subspace Rhapsody. This is an episode I think you need to see for yourself. It's just so great, so I'm not going to do a spoiler-free section here beyond saying I loved it, and it did pretty much everything I think a musical episode should do. But with that, let's get right into it. I'm going to go light on the summary and probably the clips this video since YouTube is particularly draconian about anything involving music. For people who are turned off by Star Trek doing a musical episode, I'm not sure what to tell you other than that Star Trek is known for its genre bending. We've seen everything from film noir style murder mysteries to ghost stories to courtroom dramas. I mean, we've done Star Trek Robin Hood.
Sir, I protest. I am not a merry man.
It's not even close to the first time Star Trek has featured a character singing.
Tuvok, I understand, you are a Vulcan man.
So many shows have done a musical episode that it's honestly a bit surprising that Star Trek hasn't done a full-on musical episode in its almost 60 years of various iterations. The gist of the overall plot and justification for the singing is that the Enterprise is exploring a subspace fold on the edge of the Alpha Quadrant in the hopes of increasing communication speed. They're trying various experimental transmissions when Pelia suggests they try harmonization or music.
Have you tried sending music?
And what results is people spontaneously breaking into song and confessing their deepest feelings.
Apologies, the most confounding thing I appear to be.
The music in this episode is diegetic, which means that the characters are aware they are singing and the singing is happening in their reality.
Where's that music coming from?
Not from anywhere on the ship.
Rather than some kind of musical fugue state where the characters are not aware of what's going on. I'm glad they took the once more with feeling approach.
I've got a theory that it's a demon, a dancing demon. Something isn't right there.
I've got a theory, some kid is dreaming, and we're all stuck inside his wacky Broadway nightmare.
Rather than the Scrubs musical episode's approach, which was that one character was just hallucinating the singing.
How many fingers do you see?
Call 911 emergency. Why are you singing?
This will also certainly not be the last time I compare this episode to Once More with Feeling, and I'm not the only one. They used it as the bar for how good their musical episode has to be. And we do see a few little references to Once More with Feeling as well.
Confess our deepest emotions.
I have a theory.
I've got a theory. It could be bunnies.
So what's next? More improbability? Or will we just suddenly poof into bunnies?
I would prefer not to be a bunny either.
I doubt we will be bunnies.
Some non-singing highlights from this episode are Uhura acting as a switchboard operator while the computer is tied up by Spock's experiments, Chapel getting accepted to another archaeological medicine fellowship she applied for with Dr. Corby, who we know will be a very important person in her life, Pike and Batel planning a vacation, and Pike seemingly having some reservations. And there's another visit from Kirk, where La'an tries to tell him about alternate Kirk and her feelings. We also get some really great stuff between Una and La'an. I really love their bond. La'an is also adorably awkward around Kirk, which is a cute side of her we still haven't seen that much of.
Lead the way.
Oh, sorry.
And I am obsessed with the modified theme song for this episode. It's just so good. I feel like Strange New Worlds had a mission to bring fun back to Star Trek, and it really shows. This episode just made me so happy. Overall, this is a surprisingly juicy episode that takes a very silly premise and uses it to create some amazing character development and a few really great songs. I think we can sort of see who has a musical theater background based on the amount of singing screen time each one gets. The real standouts for me in terms of vocals are Celia Rose Gooding as Uhura, and Christina Chong as La'an.
How would that feel?
They are both absolutely incredible, and both of them made me cry a little bit. The first song of this episode, Status Report, is an ensemble piece. It starts us off strong with a classic musical expositional number where everyone is trying to figure out what's going on. We get nice little moments of each of the bridge crew singing, and the chorus is pretty catchy. The crew has a meeting and Spock tries to explain that the singing is due to a quantum uncertainty field. All I can say is that the science didn't science in this episode, but Trek has generally played it shall we say, fast and loose with the science part of sci-fi, and I will forgive it pretty much any technobabble so long as we get an episode like this out of the deal. If they wanted the music to be diegetic, there had to be a reason why everyone is both singing and aware of it, and the explanation serves its purpose even if it's silly. Kirk and Una have a duet in Connect to Your Truth as she mentors him.
Connect to your crew. We're singing again. We're singing again, and it makes me...
It's another Broadway musical style number. It's okay. I wouldn't say it stands out as one of my favorite songs in the episode, but it is competent, and I did chuckle at Una's reference to Gilbert and Sullivan musicals that goes back to her rendition of Modern Major General in Short Treks.
I am the very model of a modern major general of information, vegetable, animal, and mineral.
We transition immediately into La'an singing How Would That Feel? When she took out the watch from her adventure with alternate Kirk, yes, I cried. Christina Chong got her start in musical theaters and still records pop music, and man, does it show. Her song might be my favorite in the whole episode. I also love the trope of idyllic snuggling in white sheets that you see all the time in romances when one partner or the other is going to get fridged, and I couldn't help but chuckle. La'an's song really explores her struggle to communicate openly with the people around her and tap into her emotions after so long holding them back. La'an tells a skeptical Pike that the emotional songs where they're confessing all their feelings is a security risk.
Lieutenant, are you telling me our emotions constitute a security threat?
I am.
Spock and Uhura try to fix it, but end up making things worse and spreading the problem to other ships. One bit that made me laugh is Uhura saying Mr. Kirk over the comms, and Jim answering over Sam, because of course Sam isn't Kirk when Jim is around.
Copy that, Ensign.
She was talking to me.
You don't know that.
I do know that. I actually work here.
This isn't even your department.
He's just Sam, the poor guy. We get a duet with Pike and Batel that La'an mercifully ends. Anson Mount is many things, but he's not a great singer. It kind of reminds me of Pierce Brosnan in Mamma Mia. Not, like, totally horrible, but just so obviously outclassed. Melanie Scrofano is a little better, but nowhere near Gooding, Chong, or Rebecca Romjan's skill level. The crew is trying to figure out how to stop it from spreading even further.
I think since we're in a musical reality, we're actually following the rules of musicals.
They realize the singing is triggered by their emotions.
So when do characters in musicals usually begin to sing?
When their emotions are so heightened that words won't stop.
The way this episode uses the singing as a means to emotionally progress the characters and push them into admitting things is brilliant, and very similar to how Once More with Feelings did such a fantastic job maximizing their musical format.
I swear that I'll never tell. My lips are sealed.
I take the fifth.
In the Buffy episode, someone summons a demon to Sunnydale that makes people sing and dance, some of them to death. The Scooby Gang investigates, but they also sing some deep buried truths that ultimately have ripple effects in later episodes. Strange New Worlds uses the format in the same way, and it's devastatingly effective. Pike really just wants it to be over.
The subspace fold. I think we should blow it up.
In Keeping Secrets, Una has sussed out that La'an has feelings for James, and she gives us a song about how hard it was hiding who she was for so long.
Secrets I keep safe inside. A skill I perfected so I could survive.
To encourage La'an to be honest with herself and with Kirk. It's pretty good. The bit where she turns off the gravity so she can float while she sings made me laugh out loud. It was so cute. I love how much they committed to the vibe. The anomaly is starting to affect the Klingons.
The last thing anyone wants is singing Klingons.
Excuse me, the first thing I want is singing Klingons. But more importantly, there's a cameo from Bruce Horak, who played Hemmer, playing General Garkog. They want to destroy the fold, but if they do, everyone's gonna blow up. So, the Enterprise has to solve the problem before that happens. Spock and Uhura see Chapel celebrating her fellowship, which she hasn't told Spock about. Jess Bush gives us I'm Ready, where she pretty much breaks up with Spock in song. It's one of my favorites of the episode, though. Such a bop, and Jess Bush has a great voice. I knew they probably weren't going to be endgame, but I admit I'm surprised that the romance between Chapel and Spock fizzled out so fast after almost 2 seasons of buildup. I really thought they'd last at least until season 3. I guess I did say I wanted more Chapel's story outside of Spock. I just hope they don't make Dr. Corby take up too much airtime in her story now to replace him. It would be nice to see her on her own for a bit, you know? La'an finally tells Kirk about alternate Kirk. Not in song, she gets it out in words.
I liked the way he looked at me, because through his eyes, I could finally see the person I had the potential to be.
And she confesses she might have feelings for this version of him too.
I like how you look at me too.
And he drops the bombshell that he has a pregnant on-again, off-again girlfriend.
A sometimes relationship, and right now is one of those times in a very real way.
Dr. Carol Marcus from The Wrath of Khan.
A growing problem because Carol is pregnant.
Man, none of my ships are sailing, it seems. It's hard watching her put herself out there and get shot down, but I'm still glad she told him how she feels, and where she ends up at the end of the episode is still nice. Spock gets his solo number, I'm the X, which is a musical mirror to Chapel's song with darker and lower versions of similar musical motifs.
Now I'm wrecked and searching for why. I'm the X.
Throughout the score. It's not my favorite, but I like how it progresses his character and pushes him further towards the Spock we know he's going to become. Poor Spock. Poor sad Spock. Ethan Peck does have a nice singing voice, though. We transition into an incredibly moving solo number from Uhura, Keep Us Connected, that also made me cry.
My fabric is woven with love and loss.
I love that the themes of Uhura's grief are repeated throughout the series so far, rather than simply being dealt with all at once. Celia Rose Gooding has a beautiful voice, they sing so expressively and with such range.
At my best, I have everything I need.
I love that Uhura figures out how to solve the problem in the song, and it's just through the connection between the crew members. It's just really good, you guys! We get our final number of the episode, which Uhura gets going with an inspiring speech as she starts the song off over the comm.
I look around and everyone I see, the pinnacle of guts and resiliency.
Everyone joins in, and Uhura hails the Klingons, which gives us an amazing hip-hop number from them. It turns out Bruce Horak is a musician and singer. I love it so much. Then we get the big finish, the crew singing a verse all together, and the Enterprise and Klingon ships even do a little dance for us. The field gets shut down, everyone celebrates. Spock walks away looking hurt, but Chapel doesn't let it get her down. We get a wrap-up where La'an is still processing the Kirk situation, but she ends on a high note, of being more open.
Maybe I could be someone who takes chances more often.
Pike and Patel talk out the vacation situation, Spock bloodwines his way into some more diplomacy, and Uhura alarms everyone by humming before reassuring them it's just an earworm. I don't have a ton more to say about this episode beyond what I've already said. I loved it. It captured what's great about musical theater as an expressive art form, and the way they seamlessly integrated it into the larger storylines this season was really impressive. The songs were great, even the more forgettable ones like Connect to Your Truth were competent and served their purpose. I think the worst song was probably Pike and Patel's, but it still progressed their relationship.
You always run away.
Oh, sure I see.
It just isn't one you'll find stuck in your head. I think the best song was either La'an's or Uhura's in my opinion. They both have amazing vocal ranges, and I'm a sucker for a big emotional number. Nurse Chapel's song was another favorite. I'm not sure why I didn't love Spock's song, but it just didn't do it for me. But that said, the quality of the songs overall was really high. There was clearly a lot of love and effort put into this. I know a lot of people were skeptical about a musical episode, and it's certainly another jarring tonal shift after Under the Cloak of War. M'Benga is notably pushed into the background as well, but I still think the episode overall really worked, and I love that Strange New Worlds is willing to experiment and have a little fun without taking itself too seriously. Trek has always had a silly streak, and it's nice to see it embraced, and both here and in Those Old Scientists, it has resulted in some excellent emotional payoff despite the lighthearted nature of the episodes. I am loving this season so far and have high hopes for the season finale next week. But that's just my opinion. What did you think of this episode? Which song was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section down below. Like and subscribe for more videos. See you next time. Wiedersehen.